Hello everyone, today we are going over all the cars driven by Brian O'Connor in the Fast and the Furious 2001 movie. So let's get started. The very first one. The 1995 Mitsubishi Eclipse 2G GS. We first meet Paul Walker's character a few minutes into the movie, The Fast and the Furious, sitting in this green car in the empty parking lot of the Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, training for quarter-mile races. Testing his car to the max, he loses control of it and starts spinning a little before the car full stops. Brian O'Connor goes to a car meet at night where he meets Hector and Toretto's crew. Then Brian proceeds to join their race. In the movie, the car suffers an engine failure during the very first race, but still works well enough to serve as a getaway car for O'Connor and Dominic Toretto when the cops arrive at the scene of the race. The two end up in Little Saigon, where they're found by the movie's bad guy Johnny Tran, who tells them to follow him where they stop and get out of the vehicles. Then he admires the car and seems to leave them alone, but a few minutes later he comes back and proceeds to riddle the car with bullets, causing it to ignite the car and the nitrous system as well. Then the car blows up. And that's where the end of the green Mitsubishi Eclipse 2G is. Let's jump to the next one. The boring one. The 1999 Ford F-150 SVT. This car doesn't belong to O'Connor, but to the auto parts store he works at as part of his cover ID in the first movie. There are no known modifications, nor is there any information that suggests that more than one car was used. Later, O'Connor uses this car to drive around when Johnny Tran blew his Mitsubishi. Anyway, let's jump to the next car. The famous one. The 1995 Toyota Supra Mark IV. After the Eclipse meets an explosive end at the hands of Johnny Tran, O'Connor owes Toretto a 10-second car, and so O'Connor tells his chief that he needs another car.
Hey Tanner, I'm gonna need another car.
Then he turns up at the Toretto's garage with a flatbed truck with a rusted-out Supra on the back. With some help from Mia, they turn the sorry wreck into the famous orange car, giving Toretto the 10-second car he demanded. Later in the movie, O'Connor proceeds to hunt down and eventually kill Johnny Tran. So he chases him, and at the end he stops and shoots Johnny Tran, causing him to crash his dirt bike and dies. Then O'Connor goes after Toretto, and they end up in a red light where they both proceed to race. And at the end of the race, unfortunately, Toretto crashes into a truck on the side, causing him to fly over and flip. Then Brian goes to him and they both hear sirens from the distance, and Brian realizes that Toretto is going in jail, so he gives his keys to his Supra to Toretto so he can escape the police. Toretto asks Brian if he knows what he's doing. Brian tells him that he owes him a 10-second car. Then Toretto takes the car and drives away in the distance. That is where we last see the orange Supra Mark IV. So there you go, these are the three cars Brian O'Connor drives in the Fast and the Furious 2001. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing for more videos like this.